What's up, guys? We're gonna brobeatz. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys a really easy way to make chords and melodies. If you guys haven't subbed already, or turn post alarms to do so, because those help it a lot. Let's hop right into it. First things first, we'll just grab in a scale, and we can switch it up. We can go with a major. Maybe let's do an F major. All right. So now that we got our scale in here, so what we can do, I'm gonna go through the sounds as we go through each instrument. But what we could do is start on our first set of chords. All right, so let's get started with our chords, and this is probably going to be the easiest chords that you'll ever make. All right, and instead of using this sound, because it's like very ambient, I'm gonna use the piano just so we can hear it. Okay, I'm gonna make these a little bit larger so you can see the notes. So the first step, all you need to do is make one single chord. Don't do anything extra, just make one chord. So I'm gonna just start, on the basic one. All right, and I'm gonna skip this note, play, skip this note, place. Now we have a chord. All right, so whatever you have is fine. All right, now for me, I'm gonna just invert this one because I want it to be a little different. All right, so now the next step is just copy it. Just copy it all the way over. Just copy 4 of them. Okay, and then we could just throw in like a little whatever right here. All right. Okay, so now you're probably like, okay, these all sound the exact same. Well, all you need to do to make these all sound different is add one bass note. All right, now what bass note to add? It depends. Now, generally, the first few chords, I would say the first 2, you can pick actually all of them. You can pick any notes within the range that you have. So like somewhere around here, right? This range of your chord, right? So anything in between, right? You could start with. So you can start with one of these notes, right? Or any of these notes. But generally what I like to do is play around and see what notes sound good with this. So I'm gonna put this A sharp. Right, so these both can be used, which I'll actually use. So let's pull these down. Let's reset this. Let's pull these down a little bit more, and I'm gonna shrink it a little bit. And then you'll see that these chords will sound a lot different now. Right, you can see that the bass notes are kind of really dominant, right? So it's kind of overtaking the chord, right? So it's making it sound a little bit different. All right, so now what we could do on this side, you could keep going. You can make a chord from here if you want, or you could play around with some of the notes. But generally what we want to do for our bass notes, right? Because our root is F, is home. So we want to go back home so that it loops right. All right, so we could just place our F, pull it down, and let's put this at the end. All right, and then we can make a chord backwards from here. Make sure y'all can see that I'm making a chord backwards. Okay, and oh, look at that, we hit the A sharp, right? So it's in harmony. Okay, and let's pull this one over, right? And I'm doing it like this to show y'all how to get these notes, because if I was actually making this by myself, right, I would have just placed the note there, but I'm just showing you how to get to these notes. All right, and maybe let's pull something like this over and see how that sounds with this. All right, and those are our chords. So now let's go ahead and fill in the other instruments. All right, so all I did was just copy that melody we made, or the chord progression we made, and paste it up here. So this is what these sound like. All right, just super ambient. So what we need to do now is create a counter, or just a melody to go with these chords to define the melody. And I'll show you the sound. So here's the piano. Here is the ambient little pad I have. And then I believe this is an ARP. Yeah, there's an ARP. All right, and then this sound we're gonna use is it's a harp. All right, so what we're gonna do first is just copy this chord to make it easy. Or probably could just delete the scale in the background. So what I want to do is Control A and then Shift D to make these smaller. And then we can just spread these out, right? You don't want to do too much, right? You just want to kind of spread the melody out because this is a super long melody, right? So we can, maybe let's move this one like over here. Let's fill in some blanks. Copy it over. Okay, I think that's decent enough. So now let's go ahead and throw in the piano. All right, so now we can start doing something a little bit more fancy with our counter melody, or I guess it could just be our main melody, whichever one you want. So let's go back here, copy. And like I said, this is gonna be super easy because you have one chord, right? So it's not much confusion on what notes you need to use. So let's take this. Let me make sure to make these notes a little larger. And we're just going to pull these back. How much you pull them back is up to you. I'm gonna just spread it out. Okay. And then now we can start to actually build like a little melody. So let's take this middle note, pull it over, and I'm gonna offset this. Let's try like doing a flam. Right, and then if you hold Alt, you can place it wherever you want, so it's not on the grid, as you can see. So that's what I'm gonna do here, and then let's stretch this one out. Let's do another one. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Okay, and I'm gonna just use the old trick, and what I would do is hold Shift, click and drag, and then what you want to do is Control up, and then what I like to do is offset it just a little bit. So you can hold Shift and scroll, and you can see down here, let me pull it up. You see down here that if you do that, it'll offset it just a little bit. Now I like to offset it just a tiny bit. It'll give it a nice little cool sound. All right, so let's continue this melody out, and we could just reuse this note. Throw on a flam. Let's throw in this A at the end. See how that sounds. Pull it down an octave. Play it. Okay, not bad. I could go in and tweak, but I think that's good enough for a melody. So let's go ahead and move on to the bass. All right, so now we're gonna do our bass, or 808. So let's go down here and just copy this. And this will be super easy because all we really need to do now is just hold Shift and press D. And now we can just throw in notes. So I'm just throwing a note here, right? And I don't really want to do anything like super crazy for this. I just want to get the point across. Pull these up 2 octaves. Copy that kick, Alt K, and then you can right click on the note that you wanted to transpose to. And then what I like to do is pull this down just for a little bit more thump. You can use compressors and limiters if it's too much, or you can just throw a soft clipper on your kick. There's plenty of things you can do, but I'm gonna just, you know, keep this punch. All right, so I'll play it one time. All right, so let's just go ahead and add a little bit of drums in there. All right, just to finish it out for the outro beat. Okay, so now we're gonna start on the drums, and I usually start my drums on a different pattern just for organization purposes. So with these drums, I'm gonna just keep these very simple and just kind of, you know, go along with the beat, because this is a very smooth, like, ambient melody. I wanna keep it that way. So I'm gonna just place one of these and then right click. I'm gonna kind of. And then what I'm gonna just do with the rest of these little perks is just kind of add a little bit more bounce. All right. And that's pretty much what you do anyway with like perks and stuff. So that's just the process of going through this, if anybody, you know, wanted to know that. So. Okay, and I think that's smooth enough. Okay, and obviously, like I always tell y'all, this is a tutorial, right? I would definitely, if I was just making a beat in my own time, definitely do a little bit more, add variation, you know, make unique, add variation, maybe even add a few more melodies, right? But that's the beat. So let's go ahead and turn everything on. Okay, and I'll play it. Okay, and that's it for this video. Hopefully it helped out. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if y'all new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.